Okay, so today we're going to do the reading of the third eye. It's going to be chapter 7. This is a book that I read. It's one of my favorite books. It's one of my books that changed my life. And I'm going to share that I read. It's one of my favorite books. It's one of my books that changed my life. And I'm going to share that I read. It's one of my favorite books. It's one of my books that changed my life. And I'm going to share it with just waiting for 9 people to come. So I will read the third eye by Rampati Lapsang. And then we'll go ahead and read. We might do an oracle card, and then we'll call it a night. So I'm just waiting for 9 people, and if you could share the live, that'd be awesome. This is about opening the third eye by Rampati Lapsang. Page 99, you can't make it up. Beautiful, powerful number. And this book was written in, hang on for 9, you can't make it up. Beautiful, powerful number. And this book was written in, hang on for a quick second, I believe 1956. Let me see. Yep, 1956. This was a British man. I'm not going to go too much into a lot of details as to the background. I'm just here to read it. And then if you like it, if you like this first chapter on the third eye, we can start from the beginning. As to the background, I'm just here to read it. And then if you like it, if you like this first chapter on the third eye, we can start from the beginning. But it's very evocative of Tibet. Very evocative of Tibet. It's incredible. It's beautiful. It's sweet. And it has a lot of potency and knowledge. And so I'm just waiting for 9 people, and then we'll start. Again, this is going to be the third eye, chapter 7, the opening of the third eye. So if you're interested, stay put. Of course, when I'm done, I'll upload this particular live, okay? And I'm excited to read it to you because it's one of my favorite books. Again, I read it when I was 14 years old, and it changed my life. Again, I read it when I was 14 years old, and it changed my life. So I'm going to see. All right, obvious. Okay, perfect. We are starting. 9 people. Fantastic. If you want to, share the live with the right people, share the live. The opening of the third eye. If you're here to just look at the artwork, I get it. Enjoy. And then, but let me know. Let me know when you're ready to read, for me to read. Just give me a yes in the comments. And if I get 9 yeses, we can start. Thank you for the love, but give me a yes. That's really what I'm looking for. Okay? Give me a yes. All right. Are you guys ready? All right. So this, again, was written in 1956. We can assume that if Rampati Lapsang was a walk-in and a British man, and then this would have occurred maybe in 1910, 1920s, okay? We can yes, okay, beautiful. Thank you, you guys. Thank you, Grateful, Jacob, and Sarokoko. All right, let's go. Let's begin. All right. The opening of the third eye. My birthday came, and during the day I was at my liberty, free from lesson, free from services. The Lama Mingyur Dompu said, free from lesson, free from services. The Lama Mingyur Dompu said in the early morning, have an amusing day, Lapsang. We're coming to see you at dusk. It was very pleasant lying on my back, lazing in the sunlight slightly below me. Lapsang, we're coming to see you at dusk. It was very pleasant lying on my back, lazing in the sunlight slightly below me. I could see the Potala with its roofs agleam. Behind me, the blue waters of the Norbu, Linga, or Jewel Park made me wish that I could take a skin boat and drift along. South, I could watch a group of traders across the Ki Chu ferry. The day passed too quickly. With the death of the day, the evening was born, and I went to the little room where I was to stay. There came the murmur of soft felt boots on the stone floor outside, and into the room came 3 lamas of high degree. They put a herbal compress to my head and bound it tightly in place. In the evening, the three came again, and one was the Lama Mingyur Dumpu. Carefully, the compress was removed, and my forehead wiped clean and dry. A strong-looking Lama sat behind me and took my head between his knees. The second Lama opened the box and removed an instrument made of shining steel. It resembled the Brodlav, except that instead of having a round shaft, this one was U-shaped, and in place of a point, there was little teeth around the edge of the U. For some moments, the Lama looked at the instrument and then passed it through the flame of a lamp to sterilize it. The Lama Mingyur Dumpu took my hand and said, "This is quite painful, Lobsang, and it can only be done while you are fully conscious. It will not take very long, so try to keep as still as you can." I could see various instruments laid out and a collection of herbal lotions, and I thought to myself, well, Lobsang, my boy, they will finish you one way or the other, and there is nothing you can do about it except keep quiet. The Lama with the instrument looked around to the others and said, "All ready? Let's start now. The sun has just set." He pressed the instrument to the center of my forehead and rotated the handle. For a moment there was a sensation as if someone was pricking me with thorns. To me it seemed that time stood still. There was no particular pain as it penetrated the skin and flesh, but there was a little jolt as the end hit the bone. He applied more pressure, rocking the instrument slightly so that the little teeth would fret through the frontal bone. The pain was not sharp at all, just a pressure and a dull ache. I did not move, with the Lama Mingyur Dumpu looking on. I would rather have died than make a more move or outcry. He had faith in me, as I in him, and I knew that what he did or said was right. He was watching most closely with a little pucker of muscles, and I knew that what he did or said was right. He was watching most closely with a little pucker of muscles in tension at the corner of his mouth. Suddenly there was a little scrunch, and the instrument penetrated the bone. Instantly, its motion was arrested by the very alert operator. He held the handle of the instrument firmly while the Lama Mingyur Dumpu passed him a very hard, very clean sliver of wood, which had been treated by fire and herbs to make it as hard as steel. The sliver was inserted in the U of the instrument and slid down so that I just entered the hole in my head. The Lama operator moved slightly to one side so that the Lama Mingyur Dumpu could also stand in front of me. Then, at a nod from the latter, the operator with infinite caution slid the sliver farther and farther. Suddenly, I felt a stinging, tinkling sensation apparently in the bridge of my nose. It subsided. I became aware of a subtle sense which I could not identify. That too passed away and was replaced by a feeling as if I was pushing or being pushed against a resilient veil. Suddenly, there was a blinding flash, and at that moment, the Lama Mingyur Dumpu said, "Stop!" For a moment, the pain was intense. Like a searing white flame, it diminished, died, and was replaced by spirals of colors and globules of incandescent smoke. The metal instrument was carefully removed. The sliver of wood remained. It would stay in place for 2 to 3 weeks until it was removed. I would have to stay in this little room almost in darkness. No one would see me except these 3 lamas, who would continue my instructions day by day. Until the sliver was removed, I would have only the barest necessities to eat and drink. As the projecting sliver was being bound in place so that it would not move, the Lama Mingyur Dumpu turned to me and said, "You are now one of us, Lobsang." Being bound in place so that it would not move, the Lama Mingyur Dumpu turned to me and said, "You are now one of us, Lobsang. For the rest of your life, you will see people as they are, and not as they pretend to be." It was a very strange experience to see these men apparently enveloped in golden flame. Not until later did I realize that their auras were golden because of the pure life they led, and that most people will look very different indeed. As my newfound sense developed under the skillful ministrations of the lamas, I was able to observe that there were other emanations extending beyond the innermost aura. In time, I was able to determine the state of a person's health by the color and intensity of the aura. I was able to know when they were speaking the truth or otherwise by the way the colors fluctuated. But it was not only the human body which was the subject of my clairvoyance. I was given a crystal, which I still have, and in its use I have much practice. There is nothing at all magical in gazing crystals. They are merely instruments, just as microscopes or telescopes can bring normally invisible objects into view by using natural laws. So can a gazing crystal. It merely serves as a focus for the third eye, with which one can penetrate any person's subconscious and retain the memory of facts gleaned. The crystal must be suited to the individual user. Some persons work best with the rock crystals, others prefer a ball of glass, yet others use a bowl of water or a pure black discs. No matter what they use, the principles involved are the same. For the first week, the room was kept in almost complete darkness. The following week, just a glimmer of light was admitted. The amount increasing at the end of the week drew close. On the 17th day, the room was in full light, and the 3 lamas came together to remove the sliver. It was very simple. The night before, my forehead had been painted with an herbal lotion. In the morning, the lamas came, and as before, one took my head between his knees. The operator took hold of the projecting end of the wood with an instrument. There was a sudden, sharp jerk, and that is all there was to it. The sliver was out. The Lama Mingyur Tumpul put a pad of herbs over the very small spot left and showed to it. The sliver was out. The Lama Mingyur Tumpul put a pad of herbs over the very small spot left and showed me the sliver of wood. It had turned as black as ebony while in my head. The operator Lama turned to a little brazier and placed the wood upon it, together with some incense of various kind. As the combined smoke wafted to the ceiling, so was the first stage of my initiation completed. That night, I fell asleep, with my head in a whirl. What would Sue look like now that I saw differently? Father, mother, how would they appear? But there was no answer to such questions. In the morning, the lamas came again and examined me carefully. They said that I would go out with the others, but told me that half of my time would be spent with the lamas, Mingyur Dimpu, who would teach me my intensive methods. The other half of my time would be spent attending classes and services, not so much for the educational side, but to give me a balanced outlook by mixing. A little later, I would be taught by hypnotic methods as well. For the moment, I was mainly interested in food. For in the past 18 days, I had been kept on a very small allowance, and now I intended to make up for it. Out of the door, I hurried, intent only of that thought. Approaching me was a figure smothered in blue smoke, shot through with flecks of angry red. I uttered a squeak of alarm and dashed back into the room. The others looked up at my horrified expression. "There's a man on fire in the corridor," I said. The Lama Mingyur Dampu hurried out and came back smiling. Lopsang, that is a cleaner in a temper. His aura is smoky blue as he has not evolved, and the flecks of red are the temper impulses showing. Now again, go and search for the food you want is so much. It was fascinating. Meeting the boys I knew so well yet had not known at all. Now I could look at them and get the impression of their true thoughts and the genuine liking for me. The jealousy from some and the indifference from others. It was not just a matter of seeing colors and knowing it at all. I had to be trained to understand what those colors. It was not just a matter of seeing colors and knowing it at all. I had to be trained to understand what those colors meant. My guide and I sat in a secluded alcove where we could watch those who entered the main gates. The Lama Mingyur Dampu would say, the one is coming, Lopsang. Do you see the threads of color vibrating above his heart? That shade and vibration indicates that he has a pulmonary disease, or perhaps at an approaching traitor. Look at this one. Look, those shifting bands, those intermittent flecks. Our brother of business is thinking that he may be able to delude the stupid monks. Lopsang, he is remembering that he did so once before. To what petty meanness men will stoop for money. As an aged monk approached, the Lama said, "Watch this one carefully, Lopsang. Here's a truly holy man, but one who believes in the literal word-for-word accuracy of our scriptures. You observe these discoloration in the yellow of the nimbus. It indicates that he's not yet evolved far enough to reason for himself. And so it went on and on every day, particularly with the sick. And so it went on and on every day. Particularly with the sick, we would use the power of the third eye for those who were sick in the flesh or sick in the spirit. One evening, the Lama said, "Later we shall show you how to shut the third eye at will, for you will not want to watch people's failings all the time. It would be an intolerable burden. For the moment, use it all of the time as you do your physical eyes. Then we will train you to shut it and open it at will, and as you can only see the other eyes. Many years ago, according to our legends, all men and women could use the third eye. In those days, the gods walked upon the earth and mixed with men. Mankind had visions of replacing the gods and tried to kill them, forgetting that what men could see, the gods could see better. As a punishment, the third eye was closed. Throughout the ages of forgetting that what men could see, the gods could see better. As a punishment, the third eye was closed. Throughout the ages, a few people have been born with the ability to see clairvoyantly. Those who have the ability naturally can have its power increase 1,000-fold by appropriating treatment, as I did. As a special talent, it had to be treated with care and respect. The Lord Abbot sent for me one day and said, "My son, you now have the ability, an ability denied to most. Use it only for good, never for self-gain. As you wander in other countries, you will meet those who would have you behave as a conjurer in a fair. Prove us this, prove us that, they will say. But I say, my son, that this must not be. The talent is to enable you to help others, not to enrich yourself. Whatever you see by clairvoyance, and you will see much, do not disclose it. It will harm others or affect their path through life. For man must choose his own path, my son. Tell him what you will. He will go on his own way. Help in sickness and suffering, yes, but do not say that which may alter a man's path." The Lord Abbot was a very learned man and was the physician who attended the Dalai Lama. Before concluding that interview, he told me that within a few days I was going to be sent for by the Dalai Lama, who wanted to see me. I was going to be a visitor at the Potala for a few weeks with the Lama Mingyur Dampoor. So that was chapter 7. Any questions or comments? Let me see if you guys had any questions or comments while I read this. So the third eye opening and the ability to shut it at will or open it at will is a very interesting truth that many of us who actually are conjurers, who have our third eye open and who are able to do that. I've unfortunately known people. My father was one of those people, actually, come to think of it. I'll share with you. He had a third eye fully open at birth. And I remember him telling me the story. This was right before World War II, where he was it's actually in New Jersey. He was taking a walk. And he knew, it was a neighbor that he knew. And he looked into the man's eyes and saw exactly how he passed. And it was some kind of accident, something like a freak accident. And he saw it. And 3 or 4 days later, that's exactly like a freak accident. And he saw it. And 3 or 4 days later, that's exactly how the man died. When he heard the news, it freaked him out so bad that he shut the third eye down permanently. But then again, he was 17. He hadn't been trained or hadn't, he didn't have mentors permanently. But then again, he was 17. He hadn't been trained or hadn't, he didn't have mentors. I had another friend who could actually telepathically pick up on people's thoughts, and she was accurate. And it was driving her crazy. And she ended up being on all kinds of pharma to shut it down. So I've seen people have it, and you think it's fun, and it's not. But what I will say is that if you train it, and this is just like training anything, and you think it's fun, and it's not. But what I will say is that if you train it, and this is just like training anything, you can actually control it. And so that's really it. If you don't have it already open, it's probably for your grace in action. And so that means that you have to train it to open up. And then once you train it, it will be spoon fed to you. The powers will be spoon fed to you little by little until you will know how to shut it down and open it at will. And sometimes opening it at will, like for me, opening it at will is having tarot cards in front of me. I don't really need tarot, but it does. It's almost like I'm saying, okay, I'm ready to start. Opening it at will is having tarot cards in front of me. I don't really need tarot, but it does. It's almost like I'm saying, okay, I'm ready to start, learning. There are things that you are going to never do when your third eye is open. One of them is never tell a person when they're going to pass, or anyone else. That is a big fucking no-no, because the connection between a person's soul and their contract to pass away is none of your business, and it's not yours to share. Not for a living relative who wants to try to figure out what to organize or whatever. It's a no-no. The second thing you never do with your third eye is remote view to spy on people for money, for whatever, for government, for money, for is he cheating on me? Who is he in bed with right now? People can remote view. They can be running that room, and they're accurate as fuck. The governments taught people how to do that. Russia and America, and I'm sure other countries. But there is a spiritual law that you don't do that. So you have to navigate very gently and connect with discernment, with refined spiritual discernment and integrity and honor for the self, and also your own karma, not to abuse the third eye opening, the third eye gift, clairvoyance, clairaudience, and clairsentient. You just don't want to do that for anyone. Never, no one. I feel pressure and movement there, but I've never activated one to open it. Will it open on its own? Nope. You gotta want it. You gotta want to do it. It will never open on its own unless you had a soul contract to be born where it was fully opened. It will not. It can't. If you don't want it to open, why would they force you? Free will. You have free will. So, and I think the question is, why are you afraid of it? That's really the question. So, and I think the question is, why are you afraid of it? That's really the question. Yeah, thank you, Mariachi. It's cool. Any other questions or comments? So this book is called The Third Eye, and it's about a young lama in Tibet before the takeover. About a young lama in Tibet before the takeover, which the takeover started really happening in 1959. This book was written in 1956, just so you know, on the timeline. I feel as if when I read you some of these things, it helps you like realize how long this knowledge has been around. That's why I call it ancient wisdom and not new age. There's nothing new age about this. It's ancient. That's why I call it ancient wisdom and not new age. There's nothing new age about this. It's ancient. Let me see. Any other questions or comments? Okay. Can I interest you in in more comments? Okay. Can I interest you in in more, but from another book? And this book, I've never read it. I'm gonna look at this. I'm not sure if it's good or bad, to be honest with you. I know this book, Third Eye, is amazing. Not afraid, just not sure what to do with it, and have some wild experiences already. Well, there's tons of training out there that you could look at. Typically, when people aren't sure what to do with it, you want to get yourself aligned with a mentor to help you with that. People do that all the time, where you just learn. You should also connect, like maybe open it up to connect with your, do that all the time, where you just learn. You should also connect, like maybe open it up to connect with your guide, and like literally bring your guide in and ask your guide, can you mentor me? Or do you have a human, an incarnated human being who you'd like me to you know what I mean, if you'd like me to mentor with? You should ask. You should just ask, so they can answer the question. If your third eye is truly able to open, then the answer should come immediately. They will tell you what you need to know ask and you shall receive. It's really not difficult at all. Half the shit's not difficult at all. It's just, I think what makes it difficult is people's fears. And then the fear collides with the intention to do something. Let me see. I'm going to try and find if I want to read this at all, because sometimes people will they'll tell me to buy something and I'll buy it and then I realize, oh shit, it's shit. Hang on for a quick second. Let me go right into, hang on, okay? I'm just trying to figure out. Oh, okay. So that's something I need to bring back in. So the gaslighting ourselves. Very good. That's exactly the problem. But gaslighting and then adding fear to the mix, that's a real mess. All right, so I'm going to read to you about Archangel Zadkiel. Archangel Zadkiel is serving this planet by providing about Archangel Zadkiel. Archangel Zadkiel is serving this planet by providing the alchemical magic of the violet flame in its many facets. So the violet flame, excuse me, I can't talk. The violet flame is connected to Saint Germain, and it's connected. So the violet flame, excuse me, I can't talk. The violet flame is connected to Saint Germain, and it's connected to the Chohans. The Chohans, these are high-level light beings. And when I was like 23, Germain, and it's connected to the Chohans. The Chohans, these are high-level light beings. And when I was like 23, 24, 20, up until my 30s, I would work with the violet flame and the Chohans a lot. All right. In the very first experiment of Atlantis, the people were provided with everything they needed. It was a cornucopia of delight. However, they did not appreciate all that was given to them without any effort on their part. Lower frequencies and densifications immediately became a challenge, so the violet flame was dispensed by the Intergalactic Council as a tool to assist them in transmuting these energies. From this first experiment up until the fifth one, when the golden era developed, the violet flame was one of the most useful of the spiritual tools. So you may want to start surrounding yourself with the violet flame, and the violet flame, the white light, and the gold light. Archangel Zadkiel retreat is in the etheric above Cuba. During the earlier experiments of Atlantis before the golden era, this was the most easterly point of that continent. Lady Amethyst is the twin flame of Archangel Zadkiel, and as her name suggests, she transmitted a very pure and clear, yet gentle and soothing, healing light. It resonates at a different frequency from that of Archangel Zadkiel, but it has the same transmuting power. There are many other shades of light, frequency from that of Archangel Zadkiel, but it has the same transmuting power. There are many other shades of light within their repertoire. They run from dark violet, which reaches and transmutes the lower frequencies, to iridescent pale mauve, to alchemize situations that need to be purified for the highest good. Dragons of the violet flame. In cooperation with Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Zadkiel created and brought forward a new dragon energy to work in harmony with the dragon forces currently assisting our ascension process. Once the portals of Honolulu and Andorra open in harmony with the dragon forces currently assisting our ascension process. Once the portals of Honolulu and Andorra opened in 2012, the number of dragons and other elementals on this planet increased a millionfold. As part of this inspirational assistance, the archangels created dragons of the violet flame as living conscious tools to transmute areas of intense density. These are fifth-dimensional elemental dragons. When an area needs to be cleared, the fourth dimension dragons charge in to burn up the lowest frequency. The violet flame dragons follow them, transmuting anything that is left and harmonizing the area. Finally, Archangel Zadkiel and Gabriel come in and place the cosmic diamond violet flame in position to hold the energy at the highest frequency for as long as possible. It's interesting because I can't tell you how many years I haven't surrounded myself with the violet flame, but I'm starting to work with the violet flame again. And I suggest you do as well. violet flame clearing of the Earth's grid. In order to establish a unified Christ consciousness grid on the planet and fortify the ascension process, Archangel Zachiel works of transmuting the lower energies is of utmost importance. It is only when the frequency is pure and clear that the grid can be established and solidified at a fifth dimensional level. In 2014, there were massive dispensations of the violet flame authorized by the Intergalactic Council to accelerate the ascension process. For example, on July 7, 2014, angels of the violet flame and violet flame dragons were strategically placed in grid formation all around our planet. On the instructions of the Intergalactic Council, Archangel Zachiel and Gabriel poured in a massive download of the cosmic diamond violet flame everywhere. The grid of angels Zachiel and Gabriel poured in a massive download of the cosmic diamond violet flame everywhere. The grid of angels and dragons then directed this into specific areas of high need. This was an incredible, powerful process that was felt or perceived by most people at some level as the energy rose by several octaves after this. While on a surface level, this may not have made any differences to areas of conflict. Energetically, the consciousness of everyone worldwide was raised by differences to areas of conflict. Energetically, the consciousness of everyone worldwide was raised by was raised. So in 2012, if you remember, there was a break. Something broke. Well, it wasn't just the Mayan calendar saying that's the end of an era. People were freaking out. 2012 was another apocalyptic promise of the world was going to end. I don't know if you guys remember. But it was something that was breaking from the old stagnant ways of living. There was an energy that was shifting, and the era of the Aztec calendar saying 2012 it all ends was the beginning of many who actually awakened on the planet. By 2032, the frequency of humanity will no longer support the acting out of egos. Well, I can see, I'm laughing because I think we're already there. I think we're fed up with the egos that are running the planet. The remarkable grace being offered to humanity by the use of these dispensations helps our ascension process to leap forward. At the same time, it is our responsibility to send in the violet flame and the violet flame dragons into areas of challenge so that we too are making a difference. Did you hear that? So it was done once you have the knowledge of how the violet flame has been used to eradicate blocks, right? To balance out some massively toxic areas like the Sudan, the Congo, and Palestine. We need to go ahead and start using this energy and this knowledge to shift this abuse of power. Crystal and human reactivation. Crystals program this abuse of power. Crystal and human reactivation. Crystals programmed with the wisdom of Lemuria and Atlantis that are within the ground or under the ocean are now being reactivated by the raising of the frequency on Earth. Archangel Zachiel is transmuting any energies that these crystals have absorbed over the last millennia and then illuminating them. This too will dramatically increase the levels of light on the planet and solidify the connection between terrestrial Earth and the seventh dimensional etheric centers of our planet, Hollow Earth. The light codes that are pouring out from Helios, the great central sun, are also triggering these crystals. In addition, the crystals are activating the DNA within human beings. Archangel Zachiel works through the color violet so that anyone wearing it or DNA within human beings. Archangel Zachiel works through the color violet so that anyone wearing it or driving a car of that color or sitting in a room decorated in a shade of mauve will be attuned to his energy. At an unconscious level, they have received a prompting from him. You notice people who love violet, like they're crazy about everything's violet? Our woods and forests hold much light, but lower energy. Who love violet, like they're crazy about everything's violet? Our woods and forests hold much light, but lower energies are attracting to them, and pockets of density hide within them. You know where that's true? Where our woods and forests hold much light, but lower energies are You know where that's true? Where our woods and forests hold much light, but lower energies are attracted to them and pockets of density hide within them. That would be Humboldt County in Northern California. There's a lot of weird density there, like a lot of weird toxic shit. So it would seem that maybe we need to start looking or visualizing certain pockets on the planet and see what we're picking up and sending the violet light, violet flame to those areas. You can help it on the planet and see what we're picking up and sending the violet light, violet flame to those areas. You can help the entire nature kingdom by invoking the violet flame down through a tree into its roots and visualizing it spreading from tree to tree throughout the root network of the planet. Once the flow of the violet flame has been reestablished, it will continue for you. Have created a violet flame portal through that tree. Interesting. So this idea of coming from an eagle's eye view, interesting. So this idea of coming from an eagle's eye view, picking a tree, and violet light into that tree, and then seeing it spread throughout the world onto that tree, and then transmuting this incredible violet light into that tree, and then seeing it spread throughout the world through the tree, the root network. That's amazing. The same principle applies to all things, including your home. You can really make a difference by drawing the violet flame energy down through a prison, a school, a hospital, for example. Amazing. Any questions by drawing the violet flame energy down through a prison, a school, a hospital, for example? Amazing. Any questions or comments on that? Have any of you worked with the violet flame? Can you please make a comment? Have you worked with the violet flame ever? Do you know its power? Do you understand what it's about? Make a comment. Have you worked with the violet flame ever? Do you know its power? Do you understand what it's about? Have you ever heard about it ever before? I'm just curious. I would love to see who actually works with it. I'm going to go into, hang on for a quick second, okay? Because I want to look this up. I hope I can find the answers, because I've been looking for these books on the Chohans and Violet Flame. Let me see if I find anything. I have been looking for those books. I used to have them, and they were all lost, unfortunately. Okay, let me read to you, and I hope to God this is correct, okay? Because I haven't done this in fucking years. But okay, it sounds familiar. The Chohan of the Violet Flame is a member of the Karmic Board who uses justice, energy, as love and mercy to elevate. It sounds familiar. The Chohan of the Violet Flame is a member of the Karmic Board who uses justice, energy, as love and mercy to elevate matter into wisdom. The Violet Flame is said to enable transformation and disconnection from the planetary mesh. Let me look up letters from Lady Master Portia, Chohan of the Violet Flame. Saint Germain is a master of the Violet Flame, and I remember Lady Master Portia, so I do remember that. But I would go, honestly, with Saint Germain. And the website is called summitlighthouse.org, Teaching Spiritual Store. I wonder if that's it. It's called summitlighthouse.org, Teaching Spiritual Store. I wonder if that's it. Yeah, you might want to look it up. Free spiritual lessons, archangel lessons, chakra lessons, karmic lessons, story of Sanat Kumara. Yeah, actually, I'm going to put that. Let's see what kind of books they have. Has anyone worked with the... really, there's no comment? No one's worked with the Violet Flame? Well, apparently that's a very important conversation we're having then. Because that is one of the powerful flames. That is really... yeah. There's a lot of catching up you guys have to do. A lot of catching up, okay? Because you need to be on the board. You need to know how to harness power, how to open your third eye. What are you going to do with it when you open it? You should be asking yourself those questions. Never. Okay, gotcha. Anybody else? Has anybody worked with the violet? Please tell me somebody worked with the Violet Flame. Anybody? Okay, well, I have done guided meditations that work with it. Okay, cool. And that's good. Okay. Let me read. I'm just like scanning the book, and I'm just going to read a couple more things. Hang on for a quick second, okay? All right, this looks good. So again, the website is called summitlighthouse.org. So again, the website is called summitlighthouse.org. And I can't really say anything because I haven't explored it yet, but I am going to. And I'm just trying to figure out, yeah, I remember her. Okay, God, it's been fucking years. I mean, we're talking about years, like decades. Hang on, let me see her name. I'm going to give you her name. I'm trying to remember her name. What is her fucking name? Jesus, I'm talking about years, like decades. Hang on, let me see her name. I'm going to give you her name. I'm trying to remember her name. What is her fucking name? Jesus Christ. And she... Okay, hang on, okay? So Darshan the Messenger, Elizabeth Clare the Prophet. Okay, hang on, okay? So Darshan the Messenger, Elizabeth Clare the Prophet. These are all people that were around in like, I think the late 70s, early 80s. And it's kind of sad to me that people don't know who they are. Because these were the original... Thank you, we'll check it out. Absolutely. Summit Lighthouse. Thank you, love. I appreciate you. Thank you for doing that. Can I recommend any books to you? I know you didn't ask, but I'm going to answer the unasked questions. No, I don't have a freaking clue. It's been forever. However, knowing me, I will be digging deep. And I think what I'm going to do is buy the Saint Germain book. That's what I want to look for, Saint Germain. Because I remember reading him way back when I was in my 20s. And because I remember reading him way back when I was in my 20s, and I felt connected. By the way, Saint Germain appears in many timelines. He is an ascended master, and he's even appeared in the court of Versailles in France, which is insane. And he appeared there for a while. He was known as an alchemist, and then the way he appeared, he disappeared. It was incredible. And yeah. Anyway, let's move on. Let's go into building your crystalline light body. Okay? For the past eons, we have lived in carbon-based bodies which operate at lower frequencies. This was so that we could understand the third dimension with its polarities of dark and light and experience the lower senses. Most people on the ascension path are currently in the fourth dimension, the level at which their heart chakras opens and they fully accept they are on the eternal soul journey. Their cells can hold up to 79% light. Now, what have I been saying? I've been saying many of us are in 4D. We're toggling 4D to 5D. Most people on the ascension path, I just said that. At the cosmic moment, on December 21st, 2012, the new crystalline light body was activated in the etheric for all of those who hold this level of light. It is a compound of 6-pointed crystalline Merkaba. This looks like two pyramids overlapping to form a 3-dimensional 6-pointed star and holds our energy fields at a higher frequency. The crystalline light body is the blueprint of the humans we will become on the new golden age. It will come into place for everyone who is 5-dimensional or at the upper levels of the 4th dimension, and those whose souls wishes them to participate in the golden age. The purpose of having a crystalline light body is that it can hold more light than a carbon-based one. Light contains the love, knowledge, and wisdom of the universe. Therefore, in order to build our crystalline light body, we must be able to take light contains the love, knowledge, and wisdom of the universe. Therefore, in order to build our crystalline light body, we must be able to take in more light. This can be done in the following ways. Eat light, fresh, organic foods. Drink pure water. So drink pure water. Bless everything that enters your body. Let me tell you how you bless it. You bless it with a mantra. You bless it with I am divine love. You talk to your glass of water. I kid you not. I love you. Thank you for your healing. Every step I take, I am so blessed. You thank the food in saying, thank you for nourishing every cell of my body. Thank you for these ascension light codes that are within your cells, coming into my cells. Whatever positive. If you do that, what you're doing with your food, it's called prasadam. It means it becomes holy food. This is something the Hindus do, especially in ISKCON, okay, Krishna movement. And what they do is they chant, and they do a chanting over the food, a mantra chant, while it's being prepared, so that it becomes prasadam, holy food. Exercise regularly and lightly. Bless everything that enters your body. Do what brings you joy. Keep your home physically and energetically cleansed, light, and happy. Breathe deeply and take time to meditate and connect with your higher self. Practice the ascension exercises in this book. At your current stage, we can hold more than 80% of light in our cells, yet still inhabit a body of... At your current stage, we can hold more than 80% of light in our cells, yet still inhabit a body of flesh. However, our planet has ascended, and her harmonics are rapidly changing. Over the next 20 years, as this crystalline matrix is established within the earth, we will start to notice physical changes in our body that will attune us to a planetary energies. So, this is why some people are dropping their bodies. Not because they're mean or anything. It's because their hardware body will not be able to process that. It is too cemented. It is too cemented. So for people to ascend, okay, some of them will drop their body. Some people will just drop their body because it's their time. And some people will drop their body to ascend, okay? Some of them will drop their body. Some people will just drop their body because it's their time. And some people will drop their body because the final healing is dropping the body, letting go of this carbon matter that's so cemented in energies that are from the outside, dropping the body, letting go of this carbon matter that's so cemented in energies that are from the outside environment in which they lived. And they can't, they have to release, it's almost like a snake sliding out of its skin to grow, okay? So some people will drop their body to progress. You will be left here on earth, not to be because you're being abandoned, but because you're actually able to process this change that's going to happen with your body, going from carbon to light. Does that make sense? Okay. If it doesn't make sense, let me know, okay? Because there's no questions that are like ridiculous. Just ask me the question. Just don't ask me if Joe loves you, okay? Just don't do that, and we're good. When the crystalline light body is in the process of activation, as many people are now experiencing, the physical body will not need so much food. Light will, like sunshine, will be met. Process of activation, as many people are now experiencing, the physical body will not need so much food. Light will, like sunshine, will be metabolized as a source of body fuel. We will also be able to tune in to and absorb the light of the great central sun. Now you know why we have chemtrails. I thought I'd throw that in. What is central sun? Now you know why we have chemtrails. I thought I'd throw that in. What does that mean? When you see the blue sky blue with no marks, fucking go outside and grab some sun. Just go outside and grab some sun, okay? As we move further into these elevated energies, our physical body will expand into higher possibilities. Physically, we will change shape. We will develop the longer heads that they had in Atlantis and Egypt to hold the expanded brain and the energy of the causal chakra. We will become taller and thinner and more androgynous. Then, when we work in the etheric, we will operate at the 7-dimensional frequency. Our crystalline light body will be activated and completely managed by our 12th, 5th dimensional chakras. Then, as waking masters, we will have access to all the light we need to keep ourselves in prime shape and condition. In future years, as waking masters, we will have access to all the light we need to keep ourselves in prime shape and condition. In future years, we will have a choice as to whether or not we wish to maintain a physical body while living and learning on Earth. Many of us will go into other planets to experience the joy of different incarnations. Many of us. 6 dimensions, 7 dimensions in different energy and frequencies, and not fully plasmic. I don't see that. The crystalline light body and the ascension process, an understanding of the crystalline light body is an important part of the ascension process. It focuses us on the actions we need to take to ascend, and where attention goes, energy flows. To have full access to the powers available in the new light body, we have to undergo the ascension process first. In other words, the cells of our body must hold at least 80% of our possible light quotient. The instant the amount of light held in our cells reaches this level, we have ascended. For this to happen, our 12 chakras must spin at a faster frequency and all be in perfect harmony and alignment. That means, my friends, you can't eat a burger. You cannot eat a burger. That must be the first thing you let go, is eating flesh. Because it's not. Do you understand why? I'm not some wild vegetarian vegan, though I am a vegetarian. But, and in fact, I tell people, if you're going to eat meat, do this, that, and the other. Okay, I instruct people. However, you realize, right, the crystalline light body and ascension doesn't connect with eating flesh. You realize, right, the crystalline light body and ascension doesn't connect with eating flesh. You get that? You realize, right, the crystalline light body and ascension doesn't connect with eating flesh. You get that, right? You realize, right, the crystalline light body and ascension doesn't connect with eating flesh. You get that, right? If you want to open the third eye, you realize that, right? Is that common sense? Let me know. Don't feel bad. You need to talk about it. No, I know. A lot of people, my son, we don't bring any meat in the house, but he at all. But he does eat fish. You got to go, some of you have to go little by little. I went to cold turkey when I met my twin, and my twin said, you can't eat meat. Some of you have to go little by little. I went to cold turkey when I met my twin, and my twin said, you can't eat meat. Here's why. And I went, okay, cold turkey. That day, that was it. I told my parents, yep, not eating meat. We're done. That was it. And then I fell. And then I went back. And to be honest with you, part of the work that I do, I cannot eat flesh. Period. Yes, Joel was given fruit. He told you about it. Oh, yes. When our energy field expands, we will have to be very vigilant. Joel was given fruit. He told you about it. Oh, yes. When our energy field expands, we will have to be very vigilant about keeping them clear, pure, and protected, because we will be sharing energetic space with those who may be vibrating at a denser frequency. It will be up to us to look after our own energy system. However, every person who ascends will create a cellular chime within those around them, and this will activate the light body building process with them. So the ascension process will radiate outward. And I agree with that. When you ascend, you will have like an alarm system. You will have an alarm system that will say, I can't be with this person anymore. Like I don't even want to be in the same room. And you have to honor that. You have to honor that in you. You have to like set boundaries to your own self. What does that mean? I'm not asking you to set boundaries with people. I don't agree with that. Why? Because you're not supposed to train them. You're supposed to train yourself to set boundaries for yourself. That means if you want to go, you don't want to go to Thanksgiving dinner with the family, you don't go. You go, hey, I'm doing an open house. If you want to come, cool. If not, hey, I'll see you next year. You got to have boundaries for yourself. You need to, not to protect yourself. I hate that word because it's such a weak word in this particular. You got to have boundaries for yourself. You need to, not to protect yourself. I hate that word because it's such a weak word in this particular state. If you're powerfully ascending, nothing is going to harm you. Number one, it's going to drain you though, meaning it's going to make you tired. It's going to piss you off. It's going to piss you off. Watch the movie Home for the Holidays for kicks and giggles, but with, I forgot the guy's name who was in, anyway, Home for the Holidays, great movie. But another reason, if that's your family dynamic, yeah, don't fucking do it, okay? Your peace is worth more than that. And especially that if you hang with people that exhaust you, why do it? I don't understand why people do that. I really don't understand that at all. You can love them from far, far away, okay? Like far away. Let's continue. Hang on, okay? Okay, building your light body. Prepare a space where you can be relaxed and undisturbed. Light a candle if you can. Sit quietly and breathe comfortably with the intention of building your light body. Ground yourself by visualizing roots going from your feet deep into the earth. Ask Archangel Michael to place his deep blue cloak of protection around you. Visualize yourself sitting in the center of your crystalline Merkaba, your personal six-pointed interlocking pyramid. Ask Archangel Metatron to light this up for you at a seventh dimensional frequency. I'm going to give you some other tips. So one of the things I do when I sage myself is I call, usually it's to my left side, I call on Archangel Michael to guide and protect me. Then I go to my left and I call on Archangel Metatron to guide and protect me. Then I turn around and I face, right? I turn around and I face the back. And I go, Archangel Gabriel, guide and protect me. Then I turn around and I face, right? I turn around and I face the back. And I go, Archangel Gabriel, please guide and protect me. Archangel Raphael, please guide and protect me. And then I take my sage clockwise as if a circle to embody me. And I'll say, Archangel Zadkiel, please guide and protect me. And then I take my sage clockwise as if a circle to embody me. And I'll say, Archangel Zadkiel, please guide and protect me. Archangel Christiel, Mallory, please guide and protect me. And I'm done. And I do it every day. Sometimes twice a day. And that will protect you. And I think the Merkaba that he's talking about is absolutely brilliant. I think definitely I'm going to add that. I don't know about you, but I will definitely add that to it. Because that's going to be a massive, it's bulletproof, literally. Then ask him to provide a column of pure light from the great central sun and bring it down through your chakras into hollow earth. Visualize it expanding to a 32-kilometer, 20 miles radius and lighting up. See yourself glowing pure and clear like crystal. Ask your Merkaba to anchor around you at a fifth dimensional frequency. Ask your higher self and Archangel Merkaba to anchor around you at a fifth dimensional frequency. Ask your higher self and Archangel Metatron to hold this at 80 to 85% light quotient and adjust it according to your needs. Thank Archangel Metatron. Fantastic, right? This is the only ritual that has protected me. I totally agree. Your faith delivers this protection. Exactly. And it's beyond faith. It's a knowing. It's a knowing. Like after that, nothing will harm you. Nothing. All right, light dispensation, okay? As the ascension process accelerates, Archangel Metatron is releasing bursts of specific light energy from the great pool of Atlantis, which recently merged with the great ascension pool above the pyramids of Giza. Together, they create a mighty force. At the fall of Atlantis, the original pool was stored by Archangel Metatron, and it has now been made available in limited bursts specifically for the ascension process. These very high-frequency concentration releases of light enable us to move forward very quickly on our spiritual path by building our light body. These light dispensations also powerfully affect the establishment of our fifth dimensional chakra column. When the light floods down from the Great Ascension Pool, it is received in the stellar gateway and moves down through the chakra columns before it is anchored into hollow earth by Archangel Sandalphon. Calling in the energy of the Great Ascension Pool before it is anchored into hollow earth by Archangel Sandalphon. Calling in the energy of the Great Ascension Pool is a very specific method of permanently illuminating the fifth dimensional crystalline light body. During 2013, illuminating the fifth dimensional crystalline light body. During 2013, 4 specific light dispensations were authorized by Archangel Metatron and the Planetary Ascension Council based in Luxor. They were released in response to requests from human light workers, and with each burst of light, the magnitude of the energy increased. They harmonized with the light codes that are accelerating in frequency and with the many astrological alignment that made 2013 such a challenge, year for those in the ascension path. The first, it's funny he said that. How many of you remember 2013? Let me read what you're saying. I use Michael, Uriel, Raphael, and Gabriel. I add others depending on the situation. I completely agree with that. Does anybody remember 2013? 2013 for me was a do or die year. By the end of the year, I remember collapsing I was absolutely bereft. I'd been in union with my twin in 2008. I was absolutely bereft. I'd been in union with my twin in 2008. We hadn't met physically. We met originally when I was 18 in 1981, 82, I think. Yeah, it was 81. And we'd been in separation like 2 decades. In 2008, we started talking, and then there was a separation that I caused. I was the runner. And then in 2013, I'll never forget, I'm power walking in the Arroyos in California. And suddenly, it's almost like somebody slammed me in the solar plexus, and I collapsed. And I started sobbing. And I realized I have to write this man a letter. I have to tell him I love him, and I'm sorry. I'll see him in the next incarnation or whatever. Because I was still massively in 3 to 4D. And that was December of 2013. I had no idea that was his birthday month. I sent him the letter, and we came into union in 2014. And we lived together immediately. We moved in together immediately. And that was it. That was the beginning of our journey in union. So 2013, 2014, yeah, I can totally relate. Why don't you write down what you remember? So listen to this. It's blowing my mind right now. The first dispensation is in September 2013 and was specifically aimed at raising the percentage of light within your body system to 80%. The second dispensation in October 2013 cleared etheric debris from the fifth dimensional chakra columns of those who were ready. The third, etheric debris from the fifth dimensional chakra columns of those who were ready. The third was in November 2013. The illumination illuminated the fifth dimensional chakra columns and targeted the base and sacral chakras of those who were ready to fast track their lessons. No shit. The last dispensation of 2013 occurred on the winter solstice, December 21st, and the light codes released were much gentler and had the effect of calming and softening the process that everyone had been through during the year. 100%. 110%. You can call to your own light dispensation by invoking Archangel Metatron and asking him to fill your 4-body system with 80% light. Ask him under the law of grace to provide a special light dispensation for this to take place. This will illuminate you with the frequency of an ascended master. Once the light is in your field, it is your responsibility to focus on a place or situation that needs to be transmuted to a higher frequency. Yeah, you don't get this kind of power, to kick rocks and to go kumbaya. Oh, now I want to be with my twin. I want to do this. I want to do that. That's not how it works. When you do this, it's for other people. It's not for you. I'm being honest. You're going to raise your frequency to turn this light body. He's actually telling you this, but I've told you this for months. When you want something, ask yourself, but how will this benefit the collective? How will this benefit the collective? And that's what he's saying. It's exactly what he's saying. Okay? So hang on, let me keep reading. It's blowing me away because I haven't read this part. Okay, so let's continue. All right. So once the light is in your field, it is your responsibility to focus on a place or situation that needs to be transmuted to a higher frequency. From the start of 2014, the light that has been pouring out from the core of Helios has been to such intensity that no further light dispensation has been requested or needed. The integrations have been very intense and people are having to take in the energy while living their everyday lives. However, as more people become fifth dimensional and are able to live with the higher frequencies, it will become more appropriate for light workers to call in light dispensations once again to benefit the all. Exactly. Yeah, because we're doing this, we're toggling, we're like trapezists, we're like on the tightrope of transmutation and transcendental, raising of our frequencies while paying the bills, working a job. It's like, fuck. It's no wonder people are cracking up. You know what I mean? People are just losing. Meanwhile, we're trying to figure out who to vote for. We're trying to figure out why the fuck these people are deciding to create wars or threatenings of massive wars. So I think what I'm feeling, and of course this was written way back when, in the early mid 2000, is to use this knowledge to point your, light of ascension codes, using the tree as a conduit, using your auric field as a conduit, and then using specific parts of the planet that are actually suffering. And we already know where they are. We know where they are. That includes the world. Not your little town, not your little country, not your little continent. That means the world. That means you spread out and you map it out. You go, okay, this country's fucked. Let me put this energy in. This country's definitely fucked. Let me put a lot of energy in. I'm sorry, but I have to be specific, if that makes sense, okay? All right, dimensional paradigms. There are 3 dimensional paradigms running concurrently on Earth at present. Masses of people are living out their 3rd dimensional reality. Well, you can see that. It is their sole choice to create, experience the conditions that are reflections of their thoughts and beliefs. It is anticipated that before 2032, a light will go on in the collective consciousness that will enable them to see life from a higher perspective. Now remember, this book is, I'm trying to look at the date as to, because this is, 2015, I believe. I think it was, which is weird. Okay, 2015, okay. So they will then open their hearts and souls to the 4th dimension. This sudden shift will accelerate the entire planetary ascension process. In the meantime, the 4-dimensional paradigms have been fully activated as an energetic grid around the planet. We are now in a 4th-dimensional planet, and people worldwide are starting to develop a social conscious. Remember, they wrote that in 2015. We do have nefarious forces that probably saw this coming. And let's be honest, there was a sudden U-turn on this. You know what I mean? Remember, this book was written in 2015. There was a sudden U-turn on this. You know what I mean? Remember, this book was written in 2015. It was a sudden U-turn. The 1%, which I've been talking about for months, did their own bullshit. And I don't want to go into it too much, but if you follow my lives, like go look at my live that was about April 19th of this year, which was all about the red heifer. And there was something done during the solar eclipse. Okay? And something cracked. So that means that we have to reverse, we have to U-turn it back again. This is also a deeply constructive period where the energy is reflected back from our thought processes almost instantly, which means we need to build the egregore. Now, listen, here, let's break this down because this is really important. This is also a deeply constructive period where the energy is reflected back from our thought processes almost instantly. Well, why do you think they have all these images coming in? And why do you think they're doing what they're doing, the Genos, and you know what I'm talking about? Why do you think they're doing that? To fucking lower your frequency, to create an egregore of despair, Genos, and you know what I'm talking about. Why do you think they're doing that? To fucking lower your frequency, to create an egregore of despair, and I have no power, and it's out of my hands, and I don't know what to do, and what should I do? I don't know what to do. I'm so angry. It's making me sick. I'm not going to think about it anymore. This was done by design because this ascension train we were on was on. It was happening. And then the COVID lockdown happened. And there was more fuckery. And then boom, when that was over, I've been talking about this for almost a year. And then the last 4 months, I've been really talking about it. I'm doing lives damn near every day, sometimes twice a day, to keep giving you the message that you need. You have it in your hands. Did you hear? Me and Andromeda talked about egregores. and how the 1% have been using egregores for centuries to suppress us. And so do you hear what he says? He's not using the word egregore, but that's what he's saying. Listen, where the energy is reflected back from our thought process almost instantly, those on the spiritual path are now expected to use this time to build the fifth dimensional reality that we are aiming for. So there is a collision course. We are in a collision course. What's happening is you and I were running towards the ascension, right? We were all running together, 2015, 2016. We're all going together. Okay? And then it was out of nowhere, a sledgehammer came and hit us in the gut. And we all fell to our knees. Okay? And that would have been 2020, 2021, 2022, the lockdowns, right? And then after that, here came, boom, October 7th. And that has fucked everyone up. And then Hurricane Helene. And then Hurricane Milton. But in Hurricane Milton, if you remember, we all sat together, and all of us all over the world, and I mentioned it again, and I'm sorry to repeat myself, and many prayed, and many visualized, and many meditated. We did our work, and boom, it went from 5 down to 2 or 3, depending who you talk to. Okay? So that's what they're afraid of. I keep saying the same shit because I need to repeat it until I brainwash you into the ascension. Because clearly, you and I have been brainwashed into failing, losing, going through the cycle of the karmic wheel of pain and despair. There are many who are living in the fifth dimensional paradigm now by maintaining a spiritual attitude and focus. Thoughts create reality. And this point of focus is providing light workers with a massive advantage as they strive towards the ultimate goal of ascension. Okay? So now we know where to focus our stuff, right? We appreciate you. Thank you, Yessie. I love you. Okay. Invoking Archangel Metatron's light. Here's a simple way and very effective way to invoke Archangel Metatron's light from the Ascension Pool. Prepare yourself for meditation. Sit quietly and visualize a place of situation that needs more pure ascension light. This can be anywhere of your choice. Pull out a map of the Middle East and Africa. I'm not joking. Just go ahead. Because that is a triage. This is a moment of triaging what's more important. And what's more important is that there are too many people over there suffering. And that I recommend that highly. Okay? And then from that triage of the most egregious abuses done by the 1%, then you can spread the light into the Americas, where we have our homeless population. Because remember, many of them are homeless over there too. So they were homeless and they were being brutalized as we speak right now. So the triage would be Middle East, Africa. Actually, it's fucking even, unfortunately. And then go right into the Americas. And you know where... Actually, it's fucking even, unfortunately. And then go right into the Americas. And you know where to put that. Invoke Archangel Metatron to access the Ascension Pool and ask him to dispense this pure light to your chosen area. See golden orange light pour out from the mighty pool above the Great Pyramid of Giza. Giza is right next to, Egypt's right next to Palestine. Visualize and assist Archangel Metatron to direct the flow of light to where it is needed. Link hands with Archangel Metatron and hold the area in the higher integrity. See all sentient beings touched by the light, happy, joyous, and filled with unity consciousness. Thank you. Bless in other words, you don't concentrate on saying there's no more leaders, there's no more death. You don't concentrate on what you don't want. You concentrate on what you do want. You don't concentrate on saying there's no more leaders, there's no more death. You don't concentrate on what you don't want. You concentrate on what you do want, who you want to see in abundance. Bless their ascension pathway and pour your own heart love into the flow of energy. Thank Archangel Metatron to the light dispensation. Open your eyes and know that you have touched many lives for the highest good of all. This is... It's sad how we don't understand the power that we all matter. Today in a live, somebody asked me a question. Can one person make the change? Can one person make the change? That blew my mind. Not because it was a wrong question, but because this was a really sweet soul that really didn't know how important a one person has done to destroy people's lives or evolve and help and create abundance for people's lives. So if you want to look at the list I gave him off the top of my head, you can check it out on my live that I uploaded from this morning, because I want to repeat it here. Okay? But let's look at the next chapter, which is chapter 14, the law of gratitude and blessings. So before we begin, in the morning, this is like what I'd like you to do. In the morning, I want you to turn your 9 somatic chakras, 9 somatic chakras. If you don't know where these 9 somatic chakras are, please go to my guided meditation tab. If you don't know where these 9 somatic chakras are, please go to my guided meditation tab in my profile, and you will see Ho'oponopono. You will see womb healing, for example. You will see inner child healing. And go ahead and pick one. I personally would, if I were you, I would go with Ho'oponopono. And go ahead and work on that. Learn your 9 somatic chakras. Okay, in the morning, once you know your 9 somatic chakras, you will turn your chakras clockwise from root to crown. And you will simply say, thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't care if you lost your job. I don't care if somebody called you a name. I don't care if somebody cheated on you. I don't care if you lost money. Or God bless you, you lost someone you love. You wake up that morning and you do it for the rest of your life with thank you, thank you, thank you. Root chakra, second chakra, sacral chakra, thank you, thank you, thank you. And you go all the way up the staircase of your chakras to your crown. That will put you into the state of gratitude. Now let's hear what he has to say. Chakras to your crown. That will put you into the state of gratitude. Now let's hear what he has to say. Earth is the accelerated learning place of the universe, and a life on earth offers the greatest opportunity for spiritual growth that is available anywhere. Souls literally queue up for a chance to come here. Yeah, chosen one? No, my friends, volunteer. Queue up. And when people say chosen one, it's not, there are many souls that queue up, there are many souls that don't. There are many souls that go, yeah, good luck, let me know how it goes. The first souls to take physical bodies at the start of Atlantis were in awe of all that they were offered. Although they had gone through the veil of amnesia, they were incredibly grateful for their lives. They gave thanks for food, for pure flowing water, for being able to touch a tree and feel its texture and energetic imprint. They were grateful for the joy and sorrow of emotions, how amazing to smell a flower, how wonderful to taste fruit, delight, and joy, all forms of gratitude. And the more thankful these souls were for life on earth, the more good things were showered on them. Yep. However, as they incarnated again and again, earth became familiar, and they forgot. The more good things were showered on them. Yep. However, as they incarnated again and again, earth became familiar, and they forgot the wonders of life, so they became denser and more distant from source. Every thought or energy we send out creates an etheric symbol. Certain radiant energies form such perfect geometric shapes that they act as keys to open doors of universal abundance. Gratitude and blessings are two of these radiant energies. So are the higher ascension qualities like faith, unconditional love, and trust. When the sacred geometry of our thought is a perfect match for the divine thought, the universe responds with an outpouring of abundance in alignment with our soul's desire. As above, so below. If a child glows with pleasure, when we give them a present, our heart expands with pleasure, and we want to shower them with more gifts. The sacred geometry of their joyous response matches the frequency of our giving heart. However, when they expect gifts as a right, the geometry no longer matches and we stop giving. The universal response is similar. When we are grateful for something, more of that good comes to us. So if, for example, you have a small garden and would like it bigger, you have a small, to make it bigger one, this was a very badly written line. All right. You have a small garden and you'd like it bigger, just make it bigger. Make it as beautiful as possible. Appreciate every tiny bit of it. That is the sure way of attracting a bigger one from the universe. You have shown you deserve it and are grateful. If you would like to do more interesting work, put your heart and soul into the task you are given. Your enthusiasm will light up your aura and draw in work which brings your soul satisfaction. That was exactly what was happening with Michael Singer in the Surrender Experiment. His ego would say, no, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do this. And he would like shut it up. He would shut down his ego and go, let's just do it. Yeah, the answer is yes, I'm doing it. And he would get all of these incredible opportunities. And the irony is that money started chasing him as an energy. It was an energy match. And he became a billionaire. And this lesson isn't about becoming a billionaire. This lesson is about the concept of how important gratitude is. When my twin died, that morning after he had died, I still did thank you, thank you, thank you. There was still something to be grateful for. For him dropping his body well. For me being there when he did. There was still gratitude to be given. And so I still do it. Genuine gratitude is an abundant tool. Be grateful for all that you have and more will flow to you. There are 2 archangels who can assist you to expand your chakras so that you are able to feel your genuine appreciation. Ask Archangel Chamuel to expand your heart so that you can really give heartfelt thanks to your experiences. Ask Archangel Gabriel to raise the frequency of your base and sacral chakra to the 5th dimension, for it is when you feel safe, secure, and trusting that you are ready to give genuine thanks for all that you have. A gratitude walk. A gratitude walk is a simple and effective way of opening your eyes to the awesome and totally free gifts that surround you. You can do this as a physical walk or as a visualization. It's really interesting because also what will happen as you do your chakras, your root chakra is red, your sacral is orange, you know the colors. What will happen though, as you start transmuting the energy of 3-dimensional density, your chakra, the colors. What will happen though, as you start transmuting the energy of 3-dimensional density, your chakras will change colors. Eventually, and I'm not going to tell you what they're going to be, okay? Because I don't want to influence you, because I need you to experience this for yourself so you can be blown away by what's going to happen. But what will happen, and what you have to pay attention to, is that I'm going to give you an example. If your root chakra comes out this beautiful, crystalline, gorgeous teal blue, you're not wrong. Because there's a shift. You're moving out of 3D density. You're going out of that realm, and something is transforming. I'm not going to share you what my chakras are, all of them, because again, it's a personal journey. And I don't want to influence you. And I don't want you to compete with this idea that, well, mine should be like that too. You get the message, Tony. You and your twin have a legacy and you are still here to tell it. Oh, thank you, my love. That's very kind. Let me see. So you guys understand the premise, right? And thank you, Beth. Keys to open the door. Okay, a gratitude walk visualization. Now, I'm going to actually turn you on to something. Dr. Joe Dispenza has a guided walking meditation. It's a step. So you know how you want to do your steps? Okay, well, I would suggest, and to be honest with you, I haven't done this myself in a long time, and I have to get back into it, is go ahead and invest in yourself and get the, it's called a guided meditation, a walking meditation. It's a walking meditation. Hang on for a quick second. Let me see if I can find it. Bear with me. I'm going around his website. And hopefully I'll remember my code, but it doesn't really matter. Hang on for a quick second. Give me a second. Hang on. Is it going to log me in or no? It's decided not to. Okay, whatever. Let me go to shop. Retreats, meditation. Here we go. All right, so there will be a walking meditation. There's one, Love Your Body, which I think for some people you need. Bear with me, okay? Changing. He has like, what the hell, for real? I think he has like 48 meditations. Higher Love is there, a meditation for couples. The man's incredible. I used to not like his voice, and then I went into the rhythm, and he knows exactly what he's doing. There's a certain energy that he uses, to get you under, and you have to trust. Just surrender. Just seriously surrender. Whoever's, and I've been seeing people talk shit about Joe Dispenza, and it's massively annoying because he's done more changes on the planet than the people talking shit about him. By the way, okay, there's some people who really should have shit talked about, but he's on the planet than the people talking shit about him. By the way, okay, there's some people who really should have shit talked about, but he's certainly not one of them. That's for damn sure. Bear with me. The one that I love and that I'm going to use probably either tonight or tomorrow is called the pineal gland meditation, which you got to be in your house, obviously, because it's heavy. Let me see what else. I'm trying to find, hang on. Bear with me. There's a morning and evening meditation. But anyway, there's a walking meditation. I'm trying to find it, but I can't. So I'm going to continue blessing the energy centers. I don't think you really need that. That's the chakras. Okay, but there's a walking meditation in there. And if you guys really want me to look for it, I will let you know. Okay, I enjoyed the pineal gland meditation. It's a mind blower, isn't it? I mean, I'm not being funny when I say that. You know what I do sometimes in the morning? I'll actually, and I'm not being funny, I love my bed. And I'll say, I love my blanket. I love my pillow. I know it sounds like a little 12-year-old, but I don't care. And I'll say, I love this. I love that. Oh my God, I love my orchid. I love the sounds right now. I love my cat. Like, I love my twin. I'll actually say, I love my twin. I love you so much. And then he usually steps in and we start conversing. And it's amazing. And then I'll go into a meditation and then he'll come in. Or I'll fuck around with in TikTok and he'll go, hello, I'm here. I mean, he won't say it like that, but he'll say, I'm here, come on. And I'll go into meditation. All right. Step 15. The ascension path of loving kindness. Love and kindness. Isn't that amazing that you guys have more loving kindness than fucking these politicians? Doesn't that blow your mind? Doesn't that make you feel more empowered? That should make you feel really good about yourself. The fact that you're better than all of the politicians that are currently running our planet to the ground should tell you how important you are. Because I know I'm not kissing your ass. You know that you're better than many of them, than most of them. You have more integrity, more honor, more generosity, more empathy. You're just better. Isn't that wild? It's actually dangerously true. All right, let's continue. There are many paths to ascension, but the one that transcends them with all is its simplicity is the path of loving kindness. It is the basic foundation for every path, and the angels of love, peace and joy will enfold us to enable us to maintain the qualities we need. The Buddha consciousness, the consciousness of the peaceful spiritual warrior, illuminates the pathway. There are those who live simple lives, who have never heard the word ascension or even of archangels, yet they ascend gloriously. Many of these are walking the path of loving kindness. Sometimes they live in impoverished communities where they generously and joyfully share all they have. Some have large families and happily go without in order to feed their offsprings and enfold them with love. Others go out into the world and selflessly serve those less fortunate. When these open-hearted people pass over, their friends and family usually say they would have given their last penny to help others, or they would have done anything for anyone. Here are some of the qualities that we can cultivate as a foundation for this path: love, kindness, courtesy, warmth, listening from the heart, graciousness, generosity, openness, and trust. These are all based on love, consciousness, and abundant consciousness. The key to living the path is to ask yourself. These are all based on love, consciousness, and abundant consciousness. The key to living the path is to ask yourself, how would I behave if I were an angel? This is the path that develops our etheric wings, which are radiations of light from our heart center. Love consciousness. We have love consciousness when all the petals of our heart are fully open. We truly believe that everyone deserves to be loved and cared for. We accept everyone exactly as they are. We carry within us the divine feminine light, which automatically enables us to listen to and care for and empathize with others and respond to all people and situations with kindness and wisdom. We understand oneness. Abundance consciousness. We have mastered abundance consciousness when we totally trust that our needs will be met by the universe. We are then in a state of flow, knowing that there are never gaps in the stream of plenty. In fact, when we live in abundance consciousness, all that we freely give away comes back to us multiplied. We truly share and cooperate in all things. Our heart radiation, generosity of spirit, and wealth. These qualities are the essentials of the fifth dimensional communities that will be created in the new golden age. I'm going to add a little shadow to it, just for the hell of it, just to make you laugh in some sense. Robin Hood would steal from the rich to give to the poor. There are guys running contraband, if you know my drift, but then they'll come in like Robin Hoods and give to people who are homeless food, money, sometimes whole weeks in hotel rooms, so they're out of the rain. Even people in the shadows, not all, but many, will actually have enough integrity to realize, if I'm going to do something that's illegal, at least I'm going to give back to those who really need that. I will be a Robin Hood. I don't want you to think that everyone walks on water. I want you to know that sometimes generosity... I don't want you to think that everyone walks on water. I want you to know that sometimes generosity and kindness comes from the most incredibly weird corners of human consciousness. But it's no less important. Because eventually they'll make their way into the highest light. But for now, even in the shadows, they're able to give. How to develop these qualities? God and his angels do not just give us these qualities. Rather, they send us people and situations that enable us to practice love and kindness. Did you hear that? They send us people so that we can practice love and kindness. If we need to practice generosity, they will place on our path people in need. Will we open our heart and give, or will we close it and withhold? You know how people walk by at a supermarket seeing a homeless person and heart and give, or will we close it and withhold? You know how people walk by at a supermarket seeing a homeless person and they walk by like they're not there? Instead of stopping or running in, getting water and a sandwich, does it really take that much out of your pocketbook or your wallet? We will use discernment and discrimination, or will we give without due consideration? Once we are ready or have set the intention to walk the path, chances to test ourselves will be available. Every single time we choose to respond to someone kindly, graciously, courteously, or sensibly, it is lighting up this path a little more. If we practice and develop qualities of love, warmth, and decency, honesty, or generosity, our light will shine beautifully. Ascension through caring. Before we come into this world, our higher self and the higher selves of our entire family, along with our guides and angels, choose the life conditions of the family members. Some of these may relate to caring for others. There are people who devote their whole lives to the loving care of disabled relatives, for example. Occasionally, this is a karmic situation, but increasingly the sick one at a soul level is offering to serve the ascension growth of the care. And that is true. That has been shown in some of Michael Newton's hypnotherapy sessions, where a payment is given. In other words, in a past life, there was something that went on that was wrong. And I'm trying to remember the story, so I'm going to make it up based on the philosophy of that. There was a betrayal that happened in the 1800s. And in the 1900s, a young boy was born. 6 years later, his brother was born blind and disabled. And from the betrayal of the last life, he was given an opportunity by his brother being born blind and disabled to help him, to be his eyes, to be his legs. And eventually his brother died at the age of 12 because the body could no longer sustain itself, but he had learned so much from the experience. He had not only burned karma from the betrayal, but he had expanded his ascension. Alzheimer's disease. There are many reasons for a person to develop this disease. It may be karmic. It may be a decision. Alzheimer's disease. There are many reasons for a person to develop this disease. It may be karmic. It may be a decision to withdraw from the responsibilities of life. It may be to experience living from the heart, not the head. However, it may be to offer a carer or family member the opportunity to practice love and kindness. Practice sending love to strangers you see every day. It's rewarding and helps you understand energy. Thank you, Beth. That was beautiful. I have a friend who was a Bob Fosse dancer. She was a Bob Fosse dancer. So those of you who know jazz dancing know who I'm talking about. And Sidney Poitier knew her and loved her. Still does, actually. Or did. And beautiful woman. Like stunningly gorgeous. And she ended up having one boy. And he had autism, nonverbal. They looked like Botticelli angels. Then the second boy came. And she ended up having one boy. And he had autism, nonverbal. They looked like Botticelli angels. Then the second boy came. Again, nonverbal, autistic. With massive problems. And she ended up, she still raises them. They're grown adults. And she said that they taught me how to be selfless. She could have sent them to an institution a long time ago. She never did. They live in the house with her. She has caretakers. And the universe provided the money she needed to continue. Okay? And she said, they taught me how to be selfless. And she's an amazing soul. Boundaries. When we are caring for others while walking the path of love and kindness, it often means that we have to be very clear about our boundaries. We must send our energy and act in a way that means we are treated with respect and honor, and remain true to ourselves while keeping our hearts warm and open. This is the ascension path of the peaceful spiritual warrior, the Buddha consciousness. Remember to ask Archangel Gabriel to give you a clarity and the spiritual discipline to walk your path honorably. Honorably. Wow. Anyway, I any questions or comments? Thank you, Beth, for adding to the conversation. My grandmother who raised me and took care of me has Alzheimer's. It's heartbreaking. I totally know. I know. It is heartbreaking. This is a perfect reading. Oh, I'm so happy. Okay. I think we need to do an oracle. And then we'll call it a night. What time is it? Oh, bloody hell. It's almost 1 o'clock in the morning. Okay. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to just, if you guys can close your eyes and bring the energy in and with the messages. And I'm going to look for water. Bloody hell. Hang on for a quick second. All right. So give me a second because my throat. I didn't realize I've been reading without grabbing a book. I didn't realize I've been reading without grabbing water. Okay. So I do want you involved in this. So what I want you to do is pick top, bottom, middle, and majority wins. This is from the Kali deck. I love the deck, so what can I do? And when you're ready, top, bottom, or middle. Top. I love the deck, so what can I do? And when you're ready, top, bottom, or middle. Top, bottom, or middle. Top. Okay? Majority wins. So you guys either decide, or if you don't type fast enough, I'll pick, okay, top. Middle. Okay, I'm going to pick top. Okay, this is Durga Kalika. It's number 11. In the Kabbalah numerology, 11 is the muzzled line. It's a muzzling of the true personality that, in other words, you're not really following your bliss. You're not doing what you really love. You're not being who you really should be. But it's the number 11, and it's called Durga Kalika. Let's begin. She is a fierce divine justice, unyielding resolution in favor of the light. She is every method and all means necessary to ensure success for the soul. She is the unexpected victory arising at the very moment when all seems lost. Did you hear that? What have we been talking about? Ascension. This is beautiful. Let me reread this. She is the unexpected victory arising At the very moment when all seems lost, transforming tragedy into triumph. She is our spiritual sun, our light, and our ever radiant reminder that from darkest night a new dawn shall always arise. Dare to trust more in your faith than your fear. Write it down. This is your homework. Write it down. Please write it down. Dare to trust more in your faith than your fear. Dare to trust more in your faith than your fear. For every problem that can arise, there are many more divine solutions unfolding even now. In the Hindu cosmology, through which Kali Ma is known, life is sustained through a continual balancing and interaction between light and dark, of that which promotes life and that which destroys it. In one story of Kali's birth, she erupts in a frenzy of divine wrath, catapulted out of the awakened third eye of the golden warrior goddess Durga, straight onto the battlefield to arrest the rising power of evil forces. Now, if that isn't the best card you could get for what we've just discussed. The battlefield that triggers Kali's emergence is the setting of the ancient war between the light and the dark. This war takes place in our world daily, and often enough in our own minds and hearts. It is a war of choice, where our free will decide which qualities are allowed to become stronger in our lives. Do we choose love or hate, trust or doubt, faith or fear? When we want to choose the higher path but find it difficult to avoid being overcome by our lower nature or the negativities around us, to divine beings of love manifest their presence to strengthen the light. In Kali's case, she absorbs the darkness, thereby freeing us from its potential overwhelming and undermining effect. Kali's birth on the battlefield has meaning. Durga, the unconquerable goddess of light, with the weapons of every divine being at her disposal, had encountered, listen to this, had encountered a particular virulent negative being. Whenever a drop of his blood touched the earth, he multiplied, becoming even more powerful. When Durga realized a weapon greater than all others was required to beat him, she summoned her energy and birthed Kali from her third eye. Kali is a weapon of the light and an expression of love's protective will. So Kali leapt forth, gobbling up every emanation of the demon and every drop of blood before it could touch the earth, ending the cycle of terror. Do you guys know what this meant? Do you guys know what this means? The demon that came out, and it would actually morph itself again and again and again. And Durga knew she had to bring more power out of her third eye. Her third eye. We started this live talking about the third eye. We're ending this live talking about the third eye. We're talking about the monkey mind. The demon in this case, what is the monkey mind? The perpetual thought. We're talking about the monkey mind. The demon in this case, what is the monkey mind? The perpetual thoughts that are spinning in your head, that are telling you that you don't matter, that it's out of your hands, that you can't do shit, that are telling you that you don't matter, that it's out of your hands, that you can't do shit, that the world will be what it is, that one person can't change the world. You know, that monkey mind. And so what does she do? She has to call into something that is even more powerful than Durga, the goddess of light. She has to call in from her third eye, Kali, the energy that is going to propel and destroy this demonic terror, this terror bringer. And she's able to. It's done instantaneously. And how is it done? It's done by faith. Actually, better than faith. I don't even like that word faith, because faith means you're blind. I call it the unspoken knowing. I am going to wait. I don't even like that word faith, because faith means you're blind. I call it the unspoken knowing. I am going to win this because there's no way I'm leaving this. I'm winning this, no matter what it takes. And I will not move from this position until I win this moment. There are certain times in history when you move out of the way, and there's certain times in history where you do not move until the certain evil forces capitulate. They break. In other words, they give up. Kali is the wrath of the goddess of light, divine fury in action. She not only strengthens the workings of goodness in our lives, but she reverses negativity's grip and brings it to an abrupt halt. That's what we did with the Hurricane Milton. We didn't stop it in an abrupt halt. We knew that it still had to do what it needed to do. We accepted what the universe would give us.